Hey guys, how you doing? My name is John. Thank you for checking out my Games 81 arcade channel. Today's video we're going to take a closer look at a really classic game released in 1990 in the arcades by Atari Games. It's called Pit Fighter. In my personal opinion, it's definitely the predecessor to Mortal Kombat and those kind of fighting games. So let's take a closer look. Let me know if you guys remember this game. It was ported to a lot of platforms back in the day. So let's take a closer look at it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for your support. This is Pit Fighter, released in the arcades in 1990 by Atari Games. There are three characters you can choose from. You got Ty, you got Buzz, you got Kato. And they each have their different ability, different fighting style. We're going to choose Buzz. And this game I'm playing, this version I'm playing on, is on the Midway Arcade Treasures 2 on the Xbox. This game plays a lot like other arcade fighters at the time. You got Tato had Violence Fight, and then there SNK had Street Smart, which is a very similar style game, and it's very unique in the sense that at the time they used blue screen. They had these actors who actually portrayed these fighters in this game, which is kind of cool. And later on, Midway took that and created games like Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, things like that. So there are actually 8 characters you can fight in this game as well. An interesting trivia fact in this game is that of the 8 opponents that you could play, oftentimes their names in the game were based on their names in real life. For example, Chainman Eddie was played by the actor Eddie Valencia, which is really interesting. Now at the end of each stage you get this bonus cash and shows you how much money you made, and it obviously goes up as the game goes on. Every third stage you get this grudge match, which you play a shadow of yourself, and the object of this match is to knock down your opponent 3 times. There's no power gauge or anything like that. It's a little different. This is more of a bonus stage. Here's another match. We're playing Angel, played by Angela. And you get these green pills I just picked up. They call them power pills, and they'll give you a temporary boost of power, and you don't get hurt as much. Now the power gauge is in the top left corner. The green is mine, the red is my opponent. So right off the bat, it's kind of an unfair advantage because the opponent has more energy than you do. What's unique about this fighting game though is you actually continue mid-fight. So unlike other fighting games like Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat, you die and start over the match. In this game, you actually continue and you can actually change characters midway through. Now, this game also you can actually pick up weapons and objects and throw chairs and pick up knives, which is funny because I always think it's odd if you stab someone with a knife, how can they still be fighting? But obviously, this guy's got a stick. And one thing frustrating about this game is when you're down, they can actually continue to knock you down, and that gets kind of it's a little bit frustrating about this particular game. Now, there are the characters that come out from the crowd, like that guy with a knife, there's a lady with a knife, there's a guy with a pole that will come out, and you actually can knock them down fairly easily, but you gotta be careful when you're playing this game not to get too close to the crowd. And here we are, I died, and as you can see, I can change characters, fairly easily. Here's another match. We're playing another guy here. He's got this Chinese star here, and this guy is actually pretty tough. It gets progressively harder as the game goes on, obviously. Now, thing to keep in mind, this game came out before Street Fighter 2 and before Mortal Kombat. This was one of the first fighting games I really got into growing up. I got a knife there and finished the stage. But obviously, I believe that Mortal Kombat was really heavily sampled by this. The fact that you can use blue screen and real characters. A little bit different than the side-scrolling fighter games, I understand that. This game hasn't really aged well, to be honest with you, but overall, it's a really, really fun game. Throughout the game, you are taunted by this mystery mask man who kind of points at you. He's the ultimate opponent you have to fight at the end of the game. And here we are fighting Angela again, and she gets a little bit more, obviously gets a little tougher as the game goes on. This game was ported just about to every home console, computer, and handheld you could just about think of. It wasn't on the Nintendo Entertainment System, but it was ported to the Game Boy. I remember having it. I do have a Lynx version. I remember playing that a lot growing up. It was actually going to be ported to the Atari 7800 console. There was a prototype and never saw the light of day. Another thing that never saw the light of day was the sequel. Electronic Gaming Monthly, issue 49, announced that it was supposed to come out in '93 for the Genesis. Never did. Okay, why are they picking up motorcycles? Are they super strong? I mean, that is kind of weird to me. That they're just picking up motorcycles and all these different vehicles like it's no one's business. This game was a lot of fun in arcade because you could play up to 3 players at one time, which is something you can do in the ported versions, obviously. But this game, I remember playing in the arcade quite a bit, playing with 2 of my buddies and just ganging up and fighting each other. It was just a lot of fun. Lesser known title that Atari released in 1992, a couple years later, was called Guardians of the Hood. It used the same kind of technology, the blue screen technology, and it was a fighter, but it was more like a side-scroller beat-em-up, much like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, those style games. This is the stage right before the final boss, and you fight these two guys at the same time, and it gets really frustrating because they knock you down, and they keep hitting you and hitting you, and they have these really annoying charge that they do, and it gets you on both sides. It's really frustrating. So I'm knocked down, and obviously here I am just tag teaming me. And one thing kind of weird about this game as well is the flashing. There's an energy gauge in the top left corner, so you kind of know where you're at, but I don't understand why they keep having you flash. It's kind of like what they had with Konami did a lot with your enemies. They had those flash when, like, Turtles did that, and a whole bunch of other fighting games. Here we are with the Mystery Mask Man, and this guy is really, really challenging, obviously. He's got twice the energy as I have and keeps throwing stuff at you. And what's really frustrating about this guy is you get those power pills, and you think you want to pick him up, and then he gets them. And then he's pretty much unstoppable at that point. So if you got about 30 seconds where you're pretty much out of luck as far as wanting to beat him. Unfortunately, the home console versions just don't do this game justice. The characters are extremely small on most ported versions. And definitely, if you get an opportunity, pick up Midway Treasures 2 for PS2, GameCube, or Xbox. Or, you know, probably could get this on MAME as well. It's a really fun game to check out. I highly recommend it. It's one of the first fighters. It is the first fighter I really got into. And just it's a throwback for me reviewing this game. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. And I'll have another video up shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.